Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trent and Zyori podcast. This is episode number 154. It's 8 a.m. Mountain Time, bright and early, and we've got a lovely European joining us today. Special guest Gareth Bateson, a.k.a. GARYB, a.k.a. Gareth Cass, the Dota 2 caster extraordinaire, PUBG, a couple others in there as well. Joined Dota's number one. He saw Toby Wan. He came, he conquered, and now he's king of the hill. Gary, welcome to the show. How you doing, bud?
It's my castle now, bitches.
Got him.
I'm doing good. I'm in that period now where I'm sick of waiting for an event to come, and I just want it to happen. You know, that period of time where you're just antsy and itching to get on the plane and go. Midas Mode can't come soon enough. It just can't come soon enough.
Antsy and itchy, dude. You just described my existence. Very good. Trent, how are you, buddy?
Great. Yeah, feeling the same. It's like, what, 6 days away now? At least flights and everything. So not far at all, in fact.
Yeah.
I'm also eagerly awaiting that. And still just, chilling at home, post-TI, watching a lot of pubs, all the stacks. I don't know, man. The pubs are like the best to watch that they've ever been.
Yeah? I'm sure all that information is going to really come in handy for Midas Mode.
Exactly. That's why I'm there,
Yeah, all this research. That's one of the great things about Midas Mode is that you get a free pass on doing research. You get to just turn up, and we're all equally confused as to what's going to happen or what to expect. We don't even know what the rules are. It's all the commissioner, Mr. Midas, and Sir Sadim and whatever they come up with. Boys and girls, I know you're looking for the team list. That is like the last big thing for Midas Mode that everybody is asking for. It's coming. We are like there. I think we have a roster just about locked in. We're waiting on one or two more confirmations, and then we're going to get that bad boy out there. I believe the video is in production. So a lot to look forward to. Team announcement right around the corner. Before we go too deep into that, though, folks, we got to do a little bit of selling out. This podcast still brought to you by Rivalry.com. Dun, 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 dun. They've got you covered for all of your esports betting needs. You can join the Thunderdome if you're in a jurisdiction where you don't have legal betting, like America. You can still win some cash. There are not any Thunderdomes available right now, I don't think. Let's take a look at contests up here. And no, but they do have them for CSGO, Dota, Overwatch, League of Legends. There were some for the Jungle Jam, the very MOONDUCK event that we did. We had over 1,000 entries for this one, which was pretty cool. The Jungle Jam Challenge number 6 was a $1,500 pot split amongst those that got those predictions right. So,
damn.
Pretty good, dude. It's pretty tight. Rivalry's got your back. And, of course, if you are in an area that can do regular betting, like where GARYB is over there in Germany, I believe, $25 or 25 euros, you get your first bet for free. If you mess it up, they got you covered. You get a mulligan. You get to do it over. So that's a pretty good deal.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Not bad.
What's the website again? Could you just repeat the link?
Rivalry.com.
Cheers, mate.
Fucking cheers, mate. So a big thanks to Rivalry. Of course, they made the Jungle Jam possible, and we're looking forward to working with them in the future, man. Rivalry has been very good to us. All right.
They're the good guys. They're the good guys at gambling.
Yeah, look at that. Even our independent, third-party, unbiased specialist here, GARYB.
We barely paid him to say that. Like pennies. I mean, that's how sure he is.
I could go to Midas Mode and be that water boy if I sold out Rivalry a little bit.
Yeah, fine.
Oh man,
yeah, Gary and I, we are getting warmed up for this today.
Please.
We snuck our way into a Dota game now. So I was just mentioning how pubs are the best they've ever been now, at least in terms of spectating, because of the 5-man party mode, right? Because like there's no party MMR now, so everyone ideally you want to party up. So of course we've run into this issue though in the mornings where oftentimes it's me, Owen, Cheever, and then we'll have one other random person. Sometimes it's Blitz or someone else, but we can never get full 5. And in this case, it was GARYB. So Owen has found a very ingenious solution to finding that 5th person. And that is that he found this random channel on Dota 2 that's like, it's some Russian battle pass abuse channel that he has. So it's for people who go in lobbies, match up, so they queue into each other to abuse the battle pass. So he has it in his thing, and he just spams invites to every single person talking into it until we get someone. They're always Russian. They usually speak a little bit of English, but I think we might be undefeated with random Russians now, actually, that I'm thinking about it.
And they never have any idea who you guys are.
No, they have no idea.
Okay.
And the second they join, we instantly queue, and we just hope they accept. And so far, so good, man. So shout out to all you Russian randoms abusing that battle pass and getting us some wins.
I mean, from a sample size of 1, I've won 1 game with this tactic. that guy was exceptionally good. Like he was ancient or something, and he was playing like an immortal player.
Yeah, he was
I'm
fine.
trying this next time. I'm just gonna invite random people to fill my stack.
Dude, you guys have found the hack. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the changes to matchmaking, though. I've seen a lot of bitching on Twitter, people saying that this is like the first time that, or the worst smurfing has been in a long time, I guess I should say. The first time they felt overwhelmed by Smurfs.
I mean, beat the Smurfs out. All right, so Owen and I, we queue into an account booster who whooped us in the game before on an Ember, and he was playing Storm the next game. We queued into him again, and an Immortal rank 2000 guy, and the highest person on our team was Divine 3, and we won. So, just play better, guys. Just kick their ass, Okay. That's how you do it.
Gotcha.
Get better. Get good.
I mean, it is also an illusion. Like, you don't really know who's smurfing all the time. And I suspect there are people that just lose mid, that go, oh my God, he's a smurf. There's no way somebody at this level would have beat me that bad.
That definitely happens.
It should have been more even. And it's very hard for me to separate that out from the actual smurfs that are like, I mean, I think real smurfs are pretty telltale. Let's go over the signs. Usually it's a takeover hero, Huskar, right? A great example. Usually they'll have crazy win streaks where they'll have the Immortals, or they'll go like 15-0 or something, but their win rate won't be that high. That's always the telltale. They have to tank games so that their account isn't so good so they can pick on lobies. Right?
There are a lot of smurfs right now, but I would say it's only slightly worse than it's been. But there are a lot right now because like a lot of people I know are smurfing so they can play with their friends because they want to play ranked.
I feel like it's just more noticeable now. Like if you think
that's true.
Prior to the system, Smurfs were usually on an individual basis where it was, an 8K MMR guy on another account where he's being paid to, or he's, made a deal to boost that account, and you encounter that one individual guy who's like out of place in your bracket. Mm-hmm. Or there's the people that are exploiting bots, right? Where they've just got bot accounts that queue into themselves. Yeah. But now Valve have modified the system to, I feel like, alleviate the pressure from those exploiters and the people that are sort of negatively abusing the system, and even the playing field so that everyone now, because the way that people want to play in parties, you could consider like just someone, underperforming in a party stack as smurfing, or overperforming in a party stack as smurfing. Like it kind of balances out meeting individual people, and now you're stack versus stack. Obviously that hurts you if you don't ever stack. But I feel like the game should be shifting to where we're playing 5v5 for the majority of the time.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The streams are sick, man. Like watching these pro games right now are amazing. Just getting out of the desk there, are you?
I accidentally unplugged my speakers. So Gary was talking about some shit. Couldn't really hear it that well. So I had to just go ahead and fix that real quick.
Shit.
Some shit.
But it's cool watching all the communication and everything, and everyone's so tryhard now in their pubs that it is definitely enjoyable to watch. In fact, with all these good pubs, being someone there, Mr. Grant, I had to say I was kind of wondering where you were, but then I realized I know where you were. You're in Stormwind or something, right? Isn't that one of those places? I don't know anything about WoW, but I think that's what one of them's called.
That is an Alliance town, yes.
Is he Alliance? He's Alliance,
right?
Right?
WoW people,
I believe Grant is Horde. I am playing WoW Classic, yes. Thank you for asking, Gary. It's been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it. I wish I was playing with Grant. We're sort of split. There's two big Horde groups. One is on Incendious. That's Grant's crew. That's like Fogged, Mason. I think PPD's playing over there. So pretty cool, like really awesome try-hard group. Grant's already got his fucking epic mount. He's been no life, and I DM'd Grant and said, dude, I just got my mount. I'm level 42. Oh my God, this is so exciting. World of Warcraft just got fun again. And he goes, yeah. I said, are you level 60? He says, I just got my epic mount. I'm like, oh, okay. The epic mount's like 900 gold. The regular mount, I think, is 90. So, yeah, he's a little bit ahead of me. But, Midas Mode has been quite the time sink. So I've been trying to play when I can. I think I'm up to level 46 or 47 playing an Undead Priest. Server I'm on, White Main Horde, US. We've got the guild where the GM is Adam App from MLG.
Oh, yeah, that thing's huge. That's a big esports guild.
Yeah, we got like Bren. I think Johnny's in it, Rainforest, a whole bunch of like the OWL people, and Doa is in it.
So you can call it networking while you play WoW. That's a genius.
Dude, exactly.
Can you expense your WoW subscription then?
I think so. If any of this WoW time leads to one meeting with MLG, I think so.
Well, he's off MLG. He's got a big project coming on now. Isn't he? Am I crazy?
I actually have no idea. Is he done with it? I thought he was still the COO of MLG. Am I crazy?
MLG got dumped by Blizzard Activision, right?
Yeah. He's
Everyone
Mr.
got let
Adam
go, I
AP,
think.
right?
Let's
He's
take a look
he's
at
got
his
his
Twitter.
new thing coming up when he's hoping to move into Dota, as far as I know.
Oh, wow. He says, one of the original founding employees of MLG, operator, subject on matter, expert on esports ecosystem design, production, and broadcast. Looks like you guys are right. Okay, I'm behind the curve on that one. Cool. Well, that's exciting.
Exciting
Even
stuff.
better, dude. All right. I think Eosin is on White Main Horde as well. He was playing a little bit. He got up to like level 30.
What's your attraction to WoW? Like genuine curiosity. Like I'm not looking to start a fight here or anything. But...
So there's definitely some nostalgia with WoW Classic. There's absolutely no doubt. But I have played on some of the private servers before this, and I've actually done the 60 grind in the interim here when we were waiting for Blizzard to do this. So I think it is just an exceptional game, to be honest. Like looking back at how good it is still, like even in its state when it was released, like 15 years ago now. It's still really incredible. I think the general mechanics and design, it's just fun. It's to me, it feels like my roots of a true MMO. And I think its fun is increased by the amount of people playing it. Like playing by yourself on a private server with a capacity of 1,000 people is really not that fun. You're just grinding against robots. But when it's like this and it's a cultural phenomena and there's a guild where it's like, oh, cool, Doa and Bren are doing a quest together. I'm going to join in. Like, it's fucking awesome. You know, I come home from doing stuff with Slacks for Midas Mode and Carlo and Maud are doing a dungeon together. That's fucking cool. Like, that makes it so much more fun when it's a social activity, you know, because everyone else is on the grind and bitching about it, and it's this weird, it's painful and rewarding at the same time, you know.
I feel the same way about Dota in a lot of ways right now. I turn on the client, I see a party, I see what their status of their game is, like, oh man, I'm getting in on that now because everyone just wants to party all the time.
Yeah,
I love the party games.
So I don't know. It's the social aspect, I think. It's definitely an appeal. I mean, all jokes aside, it's cool to be able to play with industry people and connect with them through a medium that's like, I mean, I don't play Overwatch. I don't share that with Bren, but it's nice to be able to have a game in common again and chat with him and just, you know, be fucking buds. That's pretty cool.
True. Yeah.
So I don't know, the whole package, but there's definitely some nostalgia. I think if you didn't play it originally, it's probably kind of hard to get into now because everyone else is so like, you fucking idiot, you think that's going to help your skinning? Oh my God. Like, you know, that I mean, every group I'm in where somebody asks a noob question, people are just like, you idiot, you don't know that Frost is bad. You don't have improved Blizzard? What the fuck are you doing? Like, I mean, it's some try hard shit, dude. People are serious. But what are you guys just grinding the Dotes? You guys playing anything outside the Dota world?
Smash.
Oh yeah, how's
Grinding
Banjo?
Smash. Yeah, man, Banjo's dope.
I actually
He's like
haven't played Smash since Banjo came out.
He's nice and honest. He's got a couple janky, kind of broken stuff, but overall, he's the most honest of the DLC characters, which is good. Kind of as expected. I did not think he would be broken. And yeah, he's super fun to play. All his animations are amazing. They took like all this stuff from the old games, and it's just talk about nostalgia, man. I've literally been waiting 20 years to play Banjo in a Super Smash Brothers game. Like I played Banjo-Kazooie, I played Smash 64, and I went, oh man, I wonder if you can get Banjo in this game. I love Banjo, and I've been waiting since then. It's fucking crazy.
Wow,
it's hype, dude. I'm never playing anyone else in Smash again. It's over.
Is he going to be
Just
relevant
Banjo main
in competitive?
Yeah, he had a few attempts at tournament. He's like second tier, probably like low A tier, as they would say. I would argue he's not S tier. He has some issues against like some of the best heroes or characters in their matchups, but overall he's good.
How about you, Gary? Are you a Smasher? What are you playing these days?
No, I never got into Smash, and I feel like for the same reason I never got into Fortnite. I tried playing it. Stuff falling down. I tried playing it, and my old man body and brain was just like, I cannot handle this mechanic in the game. Like Fortnite, I can't handle building. Smash, I just can't handle like jumping back onto the platform and saving myself. I just want to die. But we've been playing PUBG a little bit, a couple of games here and there. The new green map is pretty nice. Outside of that, it's been Dota grind. Oh, I started playing Divinity 2. Me and Charlie Tizard. I'd never played it before, and we were sitting there on Friday night, just like, what do we play? I'm like, we've played Dota to death. I don't want to play Turbo. I don't want to play PUBG. We just played 2 rounds of PUBG, and I'm done with it. I don't want to play this. and he was like, "Do you have Divinity 2?" And we're into it, like
Oh,
properly, just like into the
It's
game.
so good.
Like we're like 7 hours in, and we just left the first island, and I'm like, wait, that's like the first 1% of the game.
Yeah, I have gone over that game so many times on this podcast. But again, if you haven't played it, for the love of God, please play Divinity Original Sin 2. It is so good. Oh,
I'm so glad.
That's
I
on
installed
Switch
it and
now?
opened it.
yeah,
Yes,
it's on the
and
Switch. I have not played the Switch
cross-platform saving
version,
as well.
so I can't confirm.
What
how
genre
good or
is
bad
it? I know
is.
you've talked about it, Trent. What's the
It's
genre?
like a party RPG.
Okay.
It's like it's Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter's Night.
It sounds like
you
a
know,
sick
it's a-
Switch game, like a good airplane game.
It would
Yeah.
be. The controls would probably be a little annoying, but you don't really have to do anything. Like everything's turn-based, so it works out that you don't have to be precise. But like a mouse, like managing inventory and stuff on a controller is just so slow compared to a mouse. That's not a problem.
You know, seeing Grant in chat, it's reminding me. I had a lot of trouble getting into. Is it Civ 5 or Civ 6, whichever one is on Switch, the newest one.
Yeah.
I bought it and I tried to play it. I don't love turn-based games. I get too pedantic about it. I have this feeling of like, okay, the turn's done. Did I do everything? Like, I think about it. Like, I don't like having the control. I'm so used to having a game like Dota or WoW or PoE where it's like that tempo is set for you. You know, you're always reacting to that sense of urgency. And turn-based games are like, oh, so I don't really have to do anything. I can't handle it, dude. I need to be guided.
So I think, like Final Fantasy games kind of hit the nail on the head for what you're saying, and I never got into them because of that reason, where it's a bit slow and dull, or I feel like I'm going to be save scumming just to like optimize what I'm doing because it's that kind of turn-based thing. But Neverwinter Nights, Divinity, it flows from like, you know, real-time action where you're going around talking to people, you know, inventory management, doing quests and stuff. And then when the battle starts, it doesn't feel like it slows your game down. It still feels really smooth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good to know. I might have to check it out when I'm itching for a good Switch game. It's weird having these back-to-back events in my backyard, dude. I'm so like mentally acclimated to traveling across the globe to go to tournaments. And here it's like, yeah, Midas Mode 6 days away. Oh, I'm driving 45 minutes down the road to the hotel. Cool. You know, it's weird. I feel like I'm about to go on a trip, but I'm kind of not, but I still kind of am. Because events are usually like this escape from real life. This is just my real life, guys. This has become my reality.
Are we at the same hotel again?
No, we're in a different hotel. And well,
so no Denny's?
Fuck. I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want people to crash the hotel, but it's cool. I picked it because of its price, and then when I was negotiating, it's themed. It has a theme to it. And I think you guys will be very excited to see the theme of this hotel. And I fear if I say it aloud, it'll be immediately Googled and found. I'm going to DM it to Trent.
Let's leave it at that then. Probably not a good idea. That's right. The theme is Red Light District. Thank you.
The theme is cheap.
The theme is cheap. That's true. It's your high quality standard 3-star hotel. We went a little too nice with the Jungle Jam. We went for the suites, and we do have roomies though. I hate to say, boys.
Oh, there's roomies for this one?
There's roomies for this one.
Do I get Jenkins again?
I don't know. You might have Jenkins again. I can't remember. I know there is an odd number, and the only solo room is going to Kyle. I'm sorry to report, boys and girls.
Classic Kyle.
But
that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
You know how Kyle is.
Yeah.
It won't be solo.
Was it the most fair? No, but when I tallied up who was most likely to make a case for wanting that room, I was like, all right, I can already sense the passion. Kyle, we're giving it to you. I don't even know if he knows yet. He's going to be a nice surprise.
I'm happy to confirm that that's probably for the best.
Kyle also does not have a return flight, which is intriguing. He hasn't decided
classic Kyle.
where he's going back to. There were talks of Taipei. There were talks of the East Coast. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe he'll just hang out and stay with Grant for a while.
He's always happy to crash somewhere, man. I mean, you know the guy. If you guys haven't read his blog from the past year, I highly recommend it. Just go scan through his Twitter and you'll find it. It was interesting.
I hope I didn't reveal something with that Taipei. Jeez. Uh-oh.
No, I highly doubt it.
So what's been going on in the Dota world, boys? I need some education.
Should we discuss? I don't know. Have we gone over Midas Mode saved? Like that was probably the big thing.
Oh
right?
fuck, you're right. Oh man, that's like already a blur in my memory. When did it all begin?
Have you repressed it already?
Dude, I've tried. Dude, it was actually one of the craziest 48 hours. Not in my entire life, but in recent memory, that truly stands out as just like, fuck.
So if it was 4 days ago that the Dota 2 account tweeted the the save. The qualifiers are changed. That was 4 days ago. So that means it was like 6 days ago. It hasn't even been a week, really? Holy shit.
So 6 days ago, Valve dropped the basic schedule for the qualifiers for this first little sprint of the circuit. So that's major, minor, all that kind of stuff. When we looked at the dates, the qualifiers overlapped with the Chinese portion of Midas Mode and started kind of like right up against when our grand finals were supposed to be. So things were lit ablaze. That meme picture that Slacks or somebody tweeted was pretty perfect. I guess it was on the MOONDUCK account of like the building burning down and everything's fine. That was what the MOONDUCK headquarters were like. Because we had 0 teams. At that point, we need 12 teams. It's 4 per region, and I think we had 1 team half confirmed. And that team didn't have a roster. They had a couple of players. So, we're looking at the schedule, the timeline. Sponsors are like, hey, when are we getting that team list? And then this comes out. And, of course, it makes so much news that all the sponsors noticed it as well. So we're getting this influx of like, what's going on? What are we doing? Get the calls from the venue. Hey, guys, is the event happening? What are we doing? Are we going to compete with the DPC? What's the plan? And, I got nothing to say. We're just telling everybody like, we're working on it. Hopefully, it's all going to be good.
Let's just try and convince this billion-dollar company to do something.
So, there are definitely aspects of it I can't talk about completely because it's all private conversations and stuff with the big boys upstairs. But what I can say is that Valve was pretty proactive. Well, I guess proactive isn't the right word. Reactive, but quick to see the concerns and come up with a plan and loop us into the conversation. There was some crazy Reddit turmoil. I mean, we've done some viral shit. I don't know if I've ever seen a Reddit takeover like that. We were 6 of the top 10 threads on /r/Dota 2 about Midas
that was
Mode.
crazy.
And the entire news section was all you as well. Like all Moonduck Slacks, everything. It was great.
So there's just this crazy influx of information, and it swings really extreme both ways. Where some people are like, "Oh my god, fuck Valve," and other people are like, "Oh fuck Slacks, he's an idiot," and it's all this shit. And the most frustrating part, there's this one guy that kept posting in all the threads, and he got one that made it to the front page of like, "Guys, this is on Slacks, not Valve for once.
Oh, I saw
Look at this announcement video. Clearly, he set these dates, and then it changed. Valve probably just went on those original dates." And it's like, homie, that would be a great theory if we only communicated to Valve through press statements. But guess what? We talked to Valve more than the fucking meme videos we release that are calibrated for Reddit, man. That content is not for Valve. That shit's for you, dog. That's for you. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you think it is like the truth, the end-all, be-all Bible of Moonduck. But there have been a lot of emails exchanged. We were very cautious about these dates. We have been fucking firing those things off for months, man. So it was clear there were just a lot of other tournaments, and I think originally they had tried to schedule around another event, thinking Midas Mode was going to be smaller and not that big of a deal, and then we saw the audience reaction. It's like, okay, we need to recalibrate, and obviously 48 hours later, we got that great announcement from Valve that stuff was being bumped. There were some other parties involved as well, changing the qualifiers. There are third parties organizing those qualifiers, so they had to agree to make that date change happen, and again, the press on the subreddit, not that I want to encourage that behavior, but it definitely makes a difference. When it's that extreme, everybody just gets out of the way. Nobody wants to be the guy that's like, nope, we're not moving. We're not moving. Sorry. That's not a good look. So, it was a roller coaster. Now, what made this even worse, this is the compounding factor that I don't know if Slacks made this public, but he was on location filming for Midas Mode.
Oh, yes.
He was making content for one of the sponsors. So he wasn't even here to help deal with the crisis. Not only was he not here, he had full days booked to be on camera and be funny and jolly. And in between every shoot, he's fucking DMing players on Twitter, calling me, talking to sponsors. Like, my man actually was just going overload. I don't think he slept for like 3 days straight. I'm not even joking, because it didn't stop for him. Once the qualifiers got changed, then the next round of, okay, teams, so who wants to play starts. So his work was, all that work to get to that point was just so you could do the next stage of work to get the teams committed. He has been slaying it.
I know that it's like with this Midas Mode, a lot of the plan was for Slacks to try and offload a lot of the work too. But that is so much easier said than done, man.
Yes.
Because like it's always so hard to like coordinate a group of people and work on this kind of shit because in the end, you just want to take something and fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to be on your phone. You want to talk to this guy. It's like, okay, well, I know that they've said this and I know that they've said that, so I got to talk to this guy and like trying to relay and get everyone in on that. I think it's really difficult to not just take it right back to yourself and just grind it out. So I understand why Slacks is just going insane with it.
Yeah, especially when it's like threads of negotiation as well, right?
Yeah.
Where you've had a back and forth between, a sponsor or a player or a team, and then you're like, hey, could you sort this out to someone else? And they don't have that background info, and they don't have the, maybe they don't have the leverage that you have, and it doesn't work out the way you wanted. Everything just goes to pot.
No, you're right. I mean,
or can do anyway.
We had that issue early on at MOONDUCK for sure, where it's like, okay, we need to delegate, but then it's not like originally wanted to delegate to a bookkeeper, and I'm like, I don't know how to delegate this. I know how to do it. How do I loop you into my workflow? It doesn't make sense to just like, I can't just say do it because it's complicated. And if you fuck it up, the financials are fucked up. Negotiations are exactly the same way. I will say, I think this event is the most organized we've ever been, which is crazy. But with all the stuff on the Indiegogo and all that other stuff, we've got a lot of artists. Like, we've got a pretty big team for this one. The Discord's up to like 30 people or some shit that are all working on little side projects. We actually have like a little social media team. Slacks has a little PR team, the content guys. So we are delegating, but you're absolutely right. When it comes to teams, I mean, he's the only one. Who else is going to convince Arteezy to play in this event? What, are you going to hand that off to some production assistant? Our hourly project manager? No, dude, you got to use that Slacks. That's the whole thing, dude. That's the brand. It's him. That's how you hook him in.
I just saw someone say it's not Canadian, and I just had to say that Skywrath Mage Midas Mode thing really threw me for a loop, man. That is something else. The chicken. I mean, that is god tier. Some of these heroes, I mean, I guess they haven't all been revealed, right?
I don't think so. I think there's still some surprises. I don't know exactly what.
I've seen 4, I think. Public.
The AA one
the Kunka Bro, the AA ice cream cone, Skywrath chicken. There's a 4th one, right?
I don't know. I can't say anything. I don't know which one.
Axe is the 4th one I saw.
Axe was
the 4 I've seen.
He's wearing like the USA diaper or whatever? Yeah.
Oh, the Witch Doctor's in? Is that in?
Witch Doctor's in. That one's definitely
I didn't see Witch Doctor yet.
He's the Capri Sun and Gun, dude.
Oh, yes.
It's pretty good. It is a little bit hard to see in the game. Like, I think we're going to need some god tier obs work from Mr. Pop-Tart.
I'm sure it's fine.
To zoom in on our Witch Doctor ulting, but we just need one. We need one good close-up of it live in action.
Just do everything from showcase mode. The entire broadcast is showcase mode.
I forgot our boy Pop-Tart's going to be there. That's hype. This talent roster is stacked as hell, by the way.
I think you're rooming with Pop-Tart, actually, Trent.
Oh, really?
I think so. I just remembered since you said that.
Dude, yeah. I'm into party with Dave.
Yeah, he's fun.
I can confirm that.
Because I'm rooming with Carlo.
Carlo's coming?
Yeah, hell yeah. He's our talent coordinator, dude.
Classic Carlo.
He's going to be ordering food. He's our PA. He's going to be the coffee. We need coffee to the main stage.
We have Carlo, you guys might remember, was the guy with the calves on the what stream was that? Hub stream?
That was that
the Rucam? Yeah,
that was the hub. That was a hub of some sort. He also played in the show match at Captain's Draft 4. Tacos.
Of course. Our boy Blake from that is slaying it again this year, eh?
Is he? Oh yeah, it's football season.
Yeah, they're already 2-0. He's getting the stats. Still playing Dota. I still see him on there. He still does his tradition of playing a Dota match before his games, which I think is hilarious.
Although I saw I think it was Nahaz tweeting about injuries already. Fucking like,
oh my god, dude! Some of the quarterbacks went down last night.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not great.
Or not last night, but Sunday, and then another guy went down last night too.
I can't believe Ben Roethlisberger is still playing. Isn't that guy like 50?
He's not that old.
He's pretty...
Okay, he's like 4. I think he might be 40.
He's pretty old, dude. He's like farming
it,
dude.
38.
He won't fucking stop.
Do you guys play fantasy
He's 37.
football?
No. I don't know enough about I don't really care about it or watch it. I only know a little bit because Carlo and Mott are super into it. Mott is
just keep up.
Mott is strikingly into football. I don't know where it all comes from, but sometimes it's like it's analogous to the face that Trent makes when I talk about crypto. That's the face that I make when Mott talks about football. That's
all right. That could not be more accurate. There are a few
fucking
things in the
squealing
world
over
I
here,
care
dude.
less about than football.
Oh my god.
Well, it's because Maud always talks about the Bills. I don't care about football already, and then the Bills. I'm like, I don't know anything. Like the Doug Flutie era was 30 years ago. That's all I know. Outside of that, I couldn't give a fuck. Maud's a weeb and a jock.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's super confused. It's rough.
I mean, Knoxville goes on about it all the fucking time. He
Oh,
plays,
'cause he plays
fantasy
fantasy.
football with like 6 different leagues at the time or something. He doesn't watch the sport. He literally just plays it by the numbers.
Yeah.
So it's just like name their numbers next to him, and that's how he makes decisions.
Yeah,
That does not surprise me.
I'm a little bit jealous. I like the camaraderie. I see people competing in that shit, and it looks fun. But
Start watching the. Well, okay. You mean in fantasy? Yeah, that's true. Next year we'll do one, and you can just be the sucky guy. It'll be great.
I'll be the bozo guy that just picks stuff. Wow, he's got a cool name. Yeah, all right, I'm in. I'm in. Get your Black Lotus.
What
Thanks,
else?
man.
What else we got in the last month there?
Yeah, what else has happened? I've actually just been living in this Midas between grinding WoW, grinding Midas mode, and the final sprint on the book. I have just been living under a rock, dude. I'm in my own fucking world. Trent, the book is almost it is done.
I was gonna ask about that. Where's the book?
It's been delayed, but like I actually have the final manuscript. I was just talking to my guy who's been putting it together. It's like ready to upload to Amazon today, and then I'm gonna figure out the timeline of when it's gonna be ready for pre-order. It's like there. The final touches. It's just insane how many layers of it remind, like, you know when we talk to people about TV stuff and they ask us about our production quality, and we're like, let me talk to you about quality assurance. We do everything in one take, and it's awesome. And then you talk to a TV exec, and they're like, yeah, it'll be like 2 months of review, 2 months of writing. It's exactly like that, where like I flip through all right, this is the final one. I'm like, oh, that word's not italicized. I'm nope, there's one more, and it's just one thing after another. We're finally here. It feels so fucking good.
Yeah, when is the Slacks audio version gonna be done?
He's going to record it after Midas Mode. I was hoping to have it done before, but I think we're going to the goal is to have like the pre-order up for Midas Mode, and then
I can't wait to see you shilling that shit.
Hell-
Dude. Can you get a T-shirt or something that just says like "Buy my book" and put the link on the T-shirt the whole time you're on
all right,
panel?
dude. I got to do that. I got to order a T-shirt. I'm doing that today.
Like you need to sell this shit out so hard.
Ordering today. And
Or
then
just have
it'll
a sign that you pull up from behind the chair, just casually while paneling, that just has the link.
so I don't know.
No, you need a QR code. You have a sign or a T-shirt or both that has your "Buy my book" on the front and a QR code on the back.
Dude, writing it down right now. That's a great idea. QR code for book sales.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Easy game.
But I don't know how long Amazon takes to like process or whatever before you can start ordering shit. So I'm hoping that we can drop the like, hey, the book's on sale now, it's live halfway through Midas Mode, and then we'll do the audiobooks as like another push after Midas Mode's done.
God.
So, but it's like right there. It's fucking over, just about to be over the finish line. Couldn't feel better. Now I'm a little nervous. Now I'm like, oh god, no one's gonna read it. I hope nobody gets mad. I hope I don't get those angry DMs in the middle of the night from LD and Gods when you're like, you motherfucker. Why would you tell people that? Why would you say that?
Oh, I can't wait.
It's
It's
a little
perfect. Everyone's gonna have their own twit longer responding to the allegations in the
Oh
book about them.
goodness.
Oh no.
Zyori's memoirs causes havoc. Fuck's sake, I can see it right now.
Luckily, most of it is stuff that's not that relevant anymore outside of the BTS stuff. But like a lot of them, like MOONDUCK and like people that we work with a lot today, it's pretty, all that stuff happened afterwards. A lot of this is like, I slam Heroes of New Earth people a lot. The CEO, that whole S2, they don't come out looking that great, but they don't exist anymore. So it's.
Do you have a title? I actually don't know.
As human beings, they don't exist anymore.
There is a title. Well, I'm sure the humans do. It's called Surviving Esports.
Oh, that's not bad.
Catchy.
The Zyori story. That's the
I was
subtitle.
really hoping it was gonna be How I Manage.
How I
And you'd be
manage.
shrugging on the front. Is it too late?
Okay, Michael Scott, calm down.
How I
you know
manage.
exactly.
It's a bad erotic title. So yeah, it's pretty exciting, dude. Now I just got to figure out the marketing. I go to ExileCon and be like, hey everybody, I'm that guy that wrote that
Check
Dota
out this
book.
game completely unrelated to Path of Exile.
I wonder how many fans I have in New Zealand. You think I could do a book signing there, Trent?
No, not a chance. I bet there would be like 4 guys who would know who you were if you told them, but wouldn't even recognize you.
Yeah, but those
At
4
ExileCon.
guys, dude, they could become fans for
Like-
life.
But who do you think you are? Like, are you some Anthony Bourdain figure now? You write a book, and all of a sudden you can just go to New Zealand and have fans.
Well,
that
that's the
wanna-
dream. Yeah.
Like, what?
That's the dream, Gary. In the Trumpian era, you got to fake it till you make it, bro.
Fair enough.
That's what I have learned for sure in this modern age of doing business. Fake it till you make it is the name of the game. I don't know. I ironically say that it's like, the Trump effect, but this Midas mode, the amount of teams that were hard committed, like, oh, we're 100% in. And they're like talking about their roster. And then you have that, like, okay, we need the commitment. Who's the roster? Like, well, we've got 2 players. Then why did you tell me you had a full team this whole time? They're just like banking on their ability to get people lined up for their team. I don't know. We're going to get it. Don't worry. That's how business is done now, boys. You got to say you got it even if you don't. And then when you get the contract, you figure it out.
Speaking of contracts and teams, that is the other thing that we haven't discussed. The new rosters, the leaks were true, right? You know that infamous photo of Crit and Ramses talking at the after party?
Oh, yeah.
Turned out to be real. Turned out to be the truth. So Arteezy, Abed, Ramses, Crit, and Fly, your new EG.
That one blows. What do you guys think of Abed? To me, he's the one that stands out in that lineup of, is this going to gel? What are the positions? Do we know?
That order. So Arteezy 1, Abed 2, Ramses 3, and then Crit Fly 4-5.
Okay.
Ramsey's moving to the offlane. He's been playing a ton of offlane in pubs. He used to play offlane. He used to play a lot of offlane heroes in the 1 role when he first started playing, I remember. He played that Beastmaster 1 and Doom 1, Brewmaster 1. So I think he certainly has a love of the offlane heroes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how Abed fits into any team as a player, because like he started back with like Execration as a Meepo player, right? And that's how they won a lot of their qualifiers and tournaments. Was he picks Meepo, or they pick Meepo for him at the end. But then he hit 8K in NA pubs when he moved over. Who did he join? Did he join DC?
Was it Complexity? I think he was on DC for a little while, but didn't he join? He's hopped around a lot.
He's hopped around a bunch, but he hit 8K MMR there, and everyone sort of clicked, hang on, he's an exceptionally skilled player. He just feels like that kind of like almost miracle player where on the micro level, decision making is exceptional. He's very gifted and talented mechanically, but he needs guidance. It's one of those things where it feels like he needs a Kuroki or a Fly, someone who can just rein him in that little bit and just tell him to play with the team.
You're right,
because he is a sick player.
On Liquipedia, his trivia is like all MMR records. He broke 8K in August 6, 2016. He broke 9K March 19th, 2017, becoming first Filipino ever to reach the milestone. June 25th, 2017, he became the first player to reach 10K in solo. And then again in 2019, he became the first player to reach 10K solo MMR under the new medal system after everything got recalibrated. So he was the first person to hit 10K solo twice. That's bananas.
And sorry, I don't know if you just said it, but now they have like the 3, right? They have Ramses, Arteezy, and Abed.
Yeah.
They've all been 10K. That's pretty crazy.
So he's definitely good, but I mean, it's the you see it everywhere now. Like, will it work? 3 fucking carries. Is this a team that's going to gel together? I'm excited to see him. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's always just been difficult to like gauge where he is as a player, because he's always been on teams where he is the best player. Like overall, like he's the literal like best player no matter what standard you go by. But when you put him into a team like EG where he's the best player mechanically, but not necessarily the best player in other departments, I think that's where not only can he like perform, but he can grow as well.
Yeah.
I like just looking back at his team list, right? He started Execration. Team Onyx was the one I missed. Then DC, Fnatic. He hasn't had, a big backing, a big team behind him.
Yeah, he was on Fnatic for a little while. He was not on Complexity. I was misremembering there.
No, he was on DC and Onyx and other NA shit.
Yep. Yeah, Onyx. That was that Mason team.
This was definitely a Bulba play, by the way, to get Abed back, I bet. I saw them chatting it up at the party, and I was like, aha, old friends, I see. Interesting.
Who was he racing? Because Bulba was there in his ranked games, like he was the MMR assassin, right? But Abed was racing with someone to 10K.
Oh, at that time? I actually can't remember. It wasn't Arteezy, was it? It might have been. Because they would have been on different teams, right? Because Bulba was on DC with Abed.
Probably.
So I would assume. Either that or it was mid one. One of the two.
So what about Sumail?
I think it was mid one.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring that up. This is the first time, so Sumail is one of, I guess was he the only player that was left that had been successful on the same team for his entire career?
He was the only person left from the TI winning roster.
Yeah. And you look at his history, and it's just evil geniuses, evil geniuses, evil geniuses. And now he is still technically on the roster, but listed as inactive. He's like on the bench, essentially. So his contract could still be bought out. He might end up somewhere else.
I'm really curious what that means.
Yeah.
Because everyone's been discussing the idea of the Hassan brothers playing together, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Because if you're making a stack, like... What stack? I mean, you need a big sponsor, is what it comes down to, right?
I mean,
which I guess he probably can.
What that painkiller guy just said, whoever posted the EG thing, Sumail, Yawar, either Universe or S4, PPD, Z Freak. That's a fucking team right there.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's
no way PPD and Sumail are playing on a team together.
Yeah.
Still, that'd be a sick team.
Highly doubt. They're gonna play with SVG, not PPD. I would be shocked. Like every time I see SVG pubbing, he's pubbing with them. So if he's coming back on a tier 1.
Yeah.
He wants those guys with him. So
Sumail, CCNC, Yawar, MSS, SVG.
That sounds
I would say that one's far more likely.
Yeah.
Especially with Yawar and MSS likely to stay together after newbie. So
did that actually?
Yeah, I don't know. They need some giant ass sponsor to buy that Sumail contract though, because I bet it is not cheap. Because EG has that new director, right? Or they hired someone. I forget what her name is, but it was like the day after she was hired, they launched that big like gambling sponsorship. So they had from FVBet, so they have a ton of money coming in. Guarantee that's a pricey ass contract.
Nicole Jameson, yep. It's EG. They announced not that long ago as part of that their parent group now, Peak 6 Investment LLC. Massive investment group, dude. I think,
and that means they have people they have to answer to, which means they have Sumail's not going to get to play on some stack with his buddies for free.
It's big money, dude. And those people that put up the big money are in it to make big money in return. So you are absolutely right, my friend.
Did you see that whole post in the Chinese Dota scene about like how much money and stuff for buying players and how insane it is? That was crazy.
I've heard rumors.
Academy team players being worth like $800,000, that kind of shit.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I remember hearing stuff like that when I was working at BTS because we were a little more on the pulse of what was happening in the Chinese scene. But I've heard that the streaming contracts are what is really insane in China right now. For the old school players, like the Burnings, the kind of older, the legendary old boys, a lot of them don't do anything but stream because they make so much money streaming. It's just like a base salary to be there, and then they get incentives for viewers, and Burning gets like hundreds of thousands of viewers, dude. He's so crazily popular.
It's insanity. We got touched a little bit in Europe by it. If you think back to Secret with the Panda TV contract, where they announced $1 million over a year for 3 of their players to stream X amount per month or whatever. You think about $1 million in a year is still an inordinate amount of money for streaming 3 or 4 hours a day, right? So that's the amount of money they were willing to spend on European talent. And then you think about how much,
exactly.
How much greater of a value they're paying their own homegrown talent. It must be ridiculous.
I mean, Envy sponsored NP by getting up. I think it was Panda TV as well. I can't remember. It was some sponsorship. Yeah, he just got his own sponsorship basically to pay for NP's everything. And he only had to stream I think it was 20 a week or something. It was pretty low.
Yeah.
But that was enough money to do everything.
A big draw for foreigners in that market because there's a lot of people in general. So anything that makes you unique or stand out is huge. So, Envy, I think, has a reputation in that region, right? Like he's a global brand.
I'm so curious to see what his team's going to be. I can't wait.
Yeah. Me too. It's an interesting time. I think that's part of what we're waiting.
Gary here.
I was gonna say I think that's part of what we're waiting on for these announcements. Now I'm thinking about it is some of the rosters we have confirmed for Midas Mode haven't been publicly released yet.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we also I guess we have to give a heads up to the teams before we announce too, right?
Yeah. Well, and some of them are like with. You can get away with a team org that hasn't announced the roster yet. You say, okay, we've got Complexity. They're going to announce their roster in a few days. That's cool. Yeah. But with the player stacks, like if Envy's team doesn't have a sponsor and it's just, EE stack number 3, I don't know how you announce that without the players. There's no value in the team name. So anyway, keep that in mind, folks, in terms of announcement timelines. But on to the GARYB.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to say, I don't know. We have GARYB here, so I feel like I need to to get into the life of GARYB some more. What
The life of GARYB.
what's that? What's after Midas Mode for you, Gary? What do people wonder? What do you do? What is the life of GARYB?
This actually ties back into the whole Midas Mode qualifier consideration, the whole fucking trash can fire that happened with that, because last year we worked with ePulse and we ran a little I guess online tournament with teams, brought all the talent to studio, did a pretty decent production, and we've been planning to do a couple of them this year as well. And we had planned to do one of those sort of studio broadcast but online team events for a decent prize pool straight after Midas Mode. And tournament organizers, they share an Excel document where you put in your tournament and you're like, this is tentative dates, or these are the dates we're planning on, and everyone kind of works around each other, right? It's this kind of gentleman's agreement that if someone puts something there, you don't put something of equal or sort of lesser value there to take up the same time slot, or you plan around it, or you make sure that you communicate it. And obviously everyone knows that the major qualifiers are coming, and everyone's sitting there hoping, I hope it's not us, I hope we're not the ones that have to move. So we had like a 5-6 day tournament in the works, in planning. Fortunately for us, it hadn't been completely like ratified and finalized, so we still got out of that one. But we'll be moving it to winter, so it'll happen regardless. But it's definitely one of those things where, from my perspective, it's great that I'm going to Midas Mode and I have that event to look forward to. But if I didn't have Midas Mode, I would be the most like emo piece of shit, angry motherfucker on the internet, because I would have had an event cancelled like straight after it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would have been so angry.
Was there anyone who was invited but isn't at Midas Mode?
Is there anyone that was invited that isn't at Midas? There are a handful of people. I'd say half the talent.
I was
Sorry,
kind
guys.
There were a bunch of you guys that we wanted to bring.
Yeah, I was kind of I had that realization of like, whatever happens here, no matter what Valve decides, I'm losing out on something.
That's true.
I felt sort of in like a no-win situation, but at the same time, it was a no-lose situation. Either way, I was going to get an event. I was getting some sort of a paycheck, so that's But I hear you, Gary. It's rough out there.
So you're doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, though, like that's the Gary life.
All of the ESL like BNC streams. We do a lot of the like logistics, talent planning, flight handling, all of that stuff. Like Andrew knows the whole back end of that.
Dude, those streams are great.
Booking hotels and shit.
Okay, so now, actually, I want to ask you about those. So those B streams. So like the most common one you guys do now is the one in Cologne, right? Because there's like an ESL office there, I think, or like a studio or something.
Yep.
Those look like incredibly long days. Those look brutal. Are they as brutal as they look to me? Because you guys are just on camera the whole day. It seems hard.
It depends on the event. The Mumbai one was exceptionally fun because that was literally half the teams and half the, the amount of work that we had to do. But for the main like ESL sort of flagship ESL ones, they can get long because it is just like it's the three people on the panel. Me, Lyrical Lacoste, or me, Nomad Lacoste, whoever it may be. Scriff is doing the observing in the back room. Then there's a production team of like 4 people or so. But by the end of the day, everyone is like completely fucked. It's like, go get a beer and go to bed. Like it is literally, you are done, absolutely done for the day. I think I can say, so the Cologne office that you mentioned is booked up for Hamburg. So we get the fortunate scenario that we can bring everyone to Berlin. So we're going to have both BNC streams in Berlin at the same time. So we're looking to do some fun stuff with that one. I'm sad I can't bring Trent back again.
Why not?
I've been told that the budget only allows Europeans.
Oh, bullshit. I'm basically European, dude.
But you don't live in Europe. You live in Canada, and that's like another $1,000 on top.
I mean, dude, it's all about airports. The one thing Midas Mode has taught me, especially if you're not booking in the summer is fucked. But like this season, some of the flights were crazy cheap. We've got a couple of people coming from the UK. I got round trip tickets from London Heathrow to Denver for $450 booked 2 weeks before departure. That's like, I mean, I think Moxie's flight from whatever that airport is, what is it?
Connecticut?
Connecticut, yeah. It's not that big. I think her round trip flight to Denver was like $400, $430, something like that. It's like, that's bananas when you think about how much further the distance is. You're going like across the fucking ocean. It's the same price.
Inter-American flight prices blow my mind. Like whenever I talk to someone about traveling in America, they say I'd rather drive the 8 hours than spend the inflated cost on a plane ticket.
Yeah.
Because in Europe you can fly from England to Serbia or something for like 70 euros. Like 80
That's
bucks.
actually so crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. America's doing something wrong with their airports. I know, but
I feel like I would just fly everywhere on the weekend if I lived in Europe.
Yeah, me too.
Like seriously, it's so ridiculous.
Weekend getaway. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So GARYB on the plan. I see. Okay. Are you guys working on other games too? I know you mentioned.
So I tried a bit of PUBG last year.
Yeah.
I just don't think the game grabs me. I've been not casting other games, but I did a sort of casting workshop. I don't know if you guys have seen the Farming Simulator Esports League.
I have.
I've heard of it.
Please tell me everything you know about this.
So it's super interesting. We obviously saw like a YouTube release about a year and a half ago, 18 months ago, whereas like Farming Simulator Esports League, and we're like, what the fuck is this? Like completely just rip into it, take the piss out of it. 6 months down the line, we see they announce 10, 12 dates through a year for like a full-on like league system. And we start talking to Giant Software, which is the developer. And they're like, oh yeah, we've got
the website here because I'm on it right now. God, this is so good.
So originally they only had one game mode, which was very basic, where you plow a field, you gather hay bales, and then you stack the hay bales onto a cart, onto a truck, and you have to like choose which vehicles you use, and it's all very very dependent on the branding.
Just read this press
Go
release
wild.
here, please? Once more, fans of Team Trelleborg have a reason to cheer, as the boys in blue and white took first place at the Gamescom 2019 tournament. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. On the other side of the tournament, Horsch has shown that they know how to juggle bales and won against Landier by Astrogon and John Deere, moving into the finale against Trelleborg.
So, but this is the great thing. This is like why I think they like potentially have like a big future in esports, is because it's a look at the list of fucking sponsors, dude. It is a franchised closed league of a game that they're using in esports that has John Deere and Cat and Trelleborg, or they have these manufacturers that are behind it because all of their vehicles are in the game. So you have this intertwined, your sponsors and the makers of the vehicles are in the game, therefore have a team and fund yourself inwards on their own
write-ups,
league.
Dude. These write-ups to the games. But it wasn't a made match, as Horsch put up hard resistance in the second game, dropping tons of wheat to ensure they have the best multiplier available to them, winning 867 to 538.
Okay,
this did not make Trelleborg flinch, as they went into the third game and pushed right back at Horsch, snatching victory from their opponents in a clear 705 to 293 victory.
So fucking good.
I need to watch this. Can I cast
Dude,
this?
I was just thinking that. I'm trying to get in on this. This sounds fucking awesome.
So the original game mode was literally like stacking hay onto a cart, and that was it. Like it was time trial. It was just straight up time trial. Who can do it fast? Now so I did like a seminar with their casters, like sit up straight, drink water, speak from your diaphragm, don't slouch. All of this like basic shit that a lot of us take for granted. But if you come from like a YouTube video making setting, you don't have that same emphasis on like projecting your voice and sort of tips and tricks and shit around that. But a bunch of the developers were there in the room with me while I was talking to their influencers, and everything they said to me like clicked right. Like nothing rubbed me the wrong way with how they talked about their production setup, the way they sort of handle players and tournaments and shit. The thing that it kind of piqued my interest the most was they announced a new game mode with power-ups and like a conveyor belt that can blow up, and you can go and get a speed rune, and you can make things faster, or you could explode your opponent's hay and all this shit. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting.
Wow. What's the viewership like?
I have literally no idea. I could not tell you.
Oh, I'm gonna find out. Let's see.
It's pretty genius, and there is something, even though it's like goofy and not that serious, there is something to be said for like owning that and not trying, like it's almost like they're embracing the meme-ness with those write-ups and shit, where they want it to be legit and real, but at the same time it's like acknowledging that it's kind of goofy and that it's all a little bit ironic, but it's kind of genius at the same time. Right now we're all having that thought of like, well, I gotta check this shit out, I gotta see what this looks like,
Well,
so
they're definitely in a position now where they're trying to find themselves. Like prior to me talking to them, my opinion was like it was boring. The game mode was boring. I talked to them and they said, yes, that game mode was boring. We're trying to make it more exciting. And they're kind of, at this point, throwing stuff at the game mode and seeing what sticks. Like they're just trying a bunch of shit, see if it's fun. If it's fun, they keep it.
Okay.
Looks like they're peaking at like 3K viewers on the main stream.
Yeah, I see like
not bad.
Gamescom 2019 says peak like 850, 3K hours watched. Not amazing. Oh, okay, I see.
But I mean,
YouTube.
they're throwing money at it, man. That's
Hey, it starts somewhere. Like I still talk about this sometimes. Like NBA 2K, dude, that game's a fucking joke, but it has the backing of the goddamn NBA and all the sponsors that come along with that. And that means something, dude. If you can create a league where everybody that's in it has a guaranteed 30K a year salary and you're supporting it and it's all part of this giant machine that, you know, to the NBA, the whole investment is a drop in the bucket and it's just a cool marketing activation. The league's fucking growing, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they get tens of thousands of viewers sometimes. People are serious about their NBA 2K squads. Like,
you know, the big mistake they made, by the way, because I see someone mentioning NBA Jam, is why on earth didn't they make NBA Jam the esport? Can we just be real? Like, I don't want to watch simulated basketball that looks as close to real basketball as possible. What's the fucking point of putting that in a video game?
Well,
Give
I
me
agree.
some 3-on-3 fucking 360 windmill backflip dunks. Wouldn't that be way cooler?
yes.
It's the same in FIFA. We had like FIFA Street. We had we have like a bunch of like GameCube games like Red Card, which were arcade takes on football, and they were super fun. I'm with you on this, like 100%. Watching football, watching simulated football, just like why not make it more fun? Make it more entertaining. Throw some knives in there. Give the guy a flamethrower. Just whatever the fuck. Make it fun.
Oh, he's got the bazooka.
And he breaks the backboard. Yeah, I think the answer to that is that suits are in control of the money and they want the whole thing to get more people interested in the real NBA, and ultimately the goal is to get more people playing basketball.
But I feel like this is maybe you're right, I guess.
Which is a stupid goal. But I mean, I agree with you. I think it would be more entertaining and a better esport if we were watching NBA Jam, but I think they don't give a shit about esports.
God.
It's just a
I bet you in 10 years that'll be it. They're gonna move away from like the normal and they're gonna somehow make it like different. You know? It's just dumb. Why wouldn't I just watch a game of soccer? It's already so boring. Why do I watch video game soccer?
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, that's what makes Dota and every other esport so great is that there's no real life equivalent. You can't be like, well, Dota's cool, but I'm gonna watch
I can't
the
throw
real.
some CS:GO guys onto a fucking paintball field. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. It just feels like a shittier version of the NBA. So
Is are card games the exception that proves the rule here? Like MTG, I feel like is very similar no matter whether it's real life or online.
I would say yes, but you get different effects with it being online, though, I would say. Because, well, to be fair, Magic the Gathering, I guess, they literally just do it the exact same, except for, like, cool effects, right? I don't know, but I think card games are very different than sports games. Because a card game is, like, I don't know. It's already kind of connected in that video game sense, whereas, like, basketball, it's not just a pick up the ball and move the ball, you know?
I guess mechanically it's transferable immediately to...
Yes.
Yeah,
that's it exactly. Gary, before we get too close to the end, I want to ask you about the caster life, dude. I feel like the Dota space kind of ebbs and flows in terms of the state of affairs for tier 2 and like tier 3 casters that are up and coming. And almost all of us in the space at this point are contractors. There are very few full-time Dota 2 commentators that have a full-time salary. Most of us just go event to event and have side projects and what have you. You're one of the few, man. You're like the old guard. You're like the boomer generation, getting a fat salary, dude. You got like benefits and shit, bro.
That is the best thing. Like living in Europe and getting healthcare, man. I do not envy you American contractors or freelancers, whatever you want to call it, that have to like apply for taxes, apply for medical insurance, do all that shit. That would ruin me. That would absolutely destroy my mentality. I could not survive like that. But yeah, like the life's been pretty good. Last year was very quiet for me casting wise. It was mostly ESL stuff, online stuff. I don't think I did a LAN last year. So it was mainly kind of focusing on behind the scenes stuff. But last year was me focusing on like me growing. Like I've had like a rough couple of years since I've joined esports. It's not an easy industry to be in. mentally or physically. Like you develop bad habits if you're not careful. You get lazy and complacent. So last year was very much me trying to slot myself back onto the rails, get myself going again. And so far, it seems to be working. You know, I've tricked Zyori into inviting me to Midas Mode.
Got him.
Plan 1 success. Plan 2, I'll keep a secret for now.
Yeah.
But my world domination plan's coming into effect.
Do you feel like there's an opportunity cost there? I don't want to name any names, but I have definitely like encountered casters that you know, from like years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, where I was this little freelancer trying to work my way up, and they had some sort of a salary from a developer or whatever else. And I definitely saw some people get a little bit more complacent, and in the long term, kind of got left behind compared to the people that were sort of forced in terms of survival to like get out there and like, all right, I need to find a contract or esports is over for me. And even though that's shitty and rough, looking back, some of those people, it feels like almost needed that push to excel into the tier 1 and break through because they felt like I don't have any safety net otherwise. Whereas that safety net can be dangerous. It feels good, but how do you keep pushing, man? How do you balance that?
I mean, for sure. That was something I struggled with even before I joined JD. You know, doing it as a hobby, doing it as sort of a weekend gig. I knew myself then that I could push harder and go look for more, you know, more casting gigs online with Toby or with whoever, with Cap. I'm talking like 6-7 years ago. And then moving to JD, I definitely got complacent. I slotted in. I got into the grind of the kind of almost corporate. Like back then, we had the MLG contract where it was cast MLG 100 hours per month, and then you get your money. So I was very much on the receiving end of those 100 hours per month. I was living in the studio for a couple of days a week for my first couple of months. It was a hard grind then, but I think for me it was an important distinction to realize that grind was not a good grind. That was casting games for the sake of a contract that was above me. I wasn't learning. I wasn't finding my voice. I think finding my voice has like been the most important thing in the past like 9 to 12 months that I've done in my life. Like realizing that things that I know and I can say and I'm confident about shouldn't be kept inside me and shouldn't be sort of hesitated on.
It's hard to transition from that like I'm trying to be popular and I want a lot of people to like me to realizing that okay, but now I just kind of want to be me a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be copying or mimicking other people, but in a sense, you kind of have to at first because you don't know what the right thing to do is. Because you're listening to all these casters, like, my God, I used to listen to literally 24/7. I had a fucking cast in my ear. I went to bed, I was listening to Dota. I woke up, I listened to Dota. I'm like moving around the house, I'm listening to Dota. I just listened to every single caster. I can name everyone who's cast Dota in the past 5 years. You cannot tell me a fucking caster who's cast a single game of Dota and I don't know their name. Because I just used to listen to it constantly. And eventually, like, that helps you pick up with a lot of stuff, and you notice a lot of issues that other people are having, but you still got to be you, or, like, you're not going to have a you know?
Yeah, I know for a fact I tried to be Toby when I joined JD.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then I tried to be Cap, and then you realize I just need to try to be me. Like, stop fucking around and just say what you think.
It's hard, and it's scarier, too, because when you're mimicking someone else, you're not putting yourself out there. And when you're developing your own thing, it's like, well, if people don't like this is me. I'm kind of fucked if they don't like me, So it feels a little riskier, a little scarier. I listen to a lot of, like, stand-up comedy podcasts, and it's interesting to hear about the parallels of like how stand-up comedians rise to fruition and how there isn't really one set path and everybody has their own sort of unique style and way of doing it and breaking through. And at the end of the day, there's no replacement to just doing it. You can't replace that feeling of being on stage and casting or like, having 100,000 viewers online and like getting nervous and not fucking it up. Like you can practice and cast replays, but it's not the same. You can do stand-up to your family or, in the mirror, but it's not the same as having a live audience, and nothing replaces that experience, and you just have to get out there and I don't know, you sort of have to get over those first fumbles to rebuild that confidence to feel good about putting your own kind of thing out there, For a lot of stand-ups talk about how they started PC because they feel like they don't want to offend anybody. It's like Trent said, you want everybody to like you. So you feel this like pressure to, that joke might be too far. And there is a degree of disconnection where, hey, like for me, it felt like I cared about casting less because it was a lower percentage of my income because I started doing more management stuff and various things behind the scenes. And that helped me be a better caster because I felt like I could take more risk. I would just go out there and be like, yeah, let's just do it. I'm just going to say whatever comes to mind. And that ends up being a better product than the really rehearsed, like, oh shit, okay, oh, what do I say?
Yeah,
Like,
okay, it's 5 minutes. I need to talk about bounty runes, and then 7 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
Trent, who's gonna be the first person to make some action around this map?
Oh, let's bring up net worth. It's 10 minutes in. Here we go.
Yeah.
Like break that
Yeah, like-
script.
To go back to sort of trying to imitate other people, it can also be like incredibly detrimental to your feedback loop. Like let's say just use me as an example. You know, if I'm a caster who wants to improve, then I have to listen to criticism and feedback from different portals, right? But if I'm imitating or trying to, you know, take on a style, let's say if I'm imitating Toby, if I personally imitate him, I'm putting on a mask, right? I'm putting on this face towards the external, the audience.
Yeah.
And once you put on that mask, you can immediately use it as a scapegoat. So as soon as you receive criticism saying, oh, I didn't like what he did here, internally, if you don't self-reflect, if you don't realize what you're doing, if you don't realize it is a mask you're putting on, you can internally apply blame to the mask instead of yourself. So the feedback loop becomes a feedback loop that is sort of extricated from you and becomes a feedback loop of the mask you're using, which is super, super bad if you're trying to be like someone in entertainment who's trying to improve.
Feedback in general for entertainment is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
It is really hard to, like, as you said, you wanna shift it and you don't want to accept it, and you don't, and there's always gonna be exaggerations, and there's always gonna be people who are just being like, you know, maybe they just don't like you or whatever. But at the same time, there's always a grain of truth. So, like, every time you get flamed, you have to be able to read that flame and be like, okay, how did this person come to that realization? Like, am I, maybe not to the extent they're saying, but am I kind of fucking something up, you know?
Yeah. It always gets amplified, but there, like you said, there's always that nugget there, and it's tricky. And I've been in the other position where you see somebody doing something where you're like, oh man, that's a little cringeworthy. It's really hard to say that to somebody. You know, they get off camera and they're like, that bit, how was it? And you're just like, yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. Like, you have to be really on the level with someone and be able to communicate that in a way that they hear it, that isn't putting them down, but just like, hey, next time try to do X so that, you know, you get Y result or whatever. I mean, that's one of the things I love about Slacks, is that he is so good at being brutally honest and not making you feel like a piece of shit about it. You know?
Yeah, and it's hard with newcasters too to not destroy their confidence while also trying to help them get out of bad habits.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Slacks has mastered the pointed criticism with a pat on the back.
Yeah.
The pat on the back that Slacks does, just it cures all ails. Like it I don't know how he does it. It is magical.
It's rough, but that is definitely the golden ticket. Is you got to find somebody that'll be honest with you. I mean, for me, I still owe LD a debt of gratitude. Like when I first got hired at BTS, he was my mentor. He was the guy that would listen to my casts, or at least enough of them, and regularly, like once a week, be like, "Hey, dude, stop saying this word. Hey, you fucked this up again. Hey, when this happens, don't talk about it." Like, he would always give me notes, and it was just positioned in a way that I knew it wasn't coming from, oh, you suck. It was coming from I just want us all to be better so we can have a better show and make a better product. And that's rare, dude. It's super rare that people are willing to do that for you and do it in a way that you can actually hear it. That's the key thing. So
Oof. That you hear and accept.
Right. That you don't get to. I mean, you always get a little defensive and go, "Oh fuck, LD doesn't like me." But once you get over that little moment of emotion, you realize, okay, yeah, he's fucking right. He's way better than me. That's why he's my boss. Like, man, well, that was great. That was some great insight there, boys. Gary, it's about time to wrap it up. Anything else you want to get off your chest, bud? I mean, you're gonna have a lot of opportunities at Midas Mode, but
I can't wait to hang out with GARYB.
Dude, I'm so
excited.
stoked.
Gary, when's the last time we hung out?
Man,
I'm pretty sure it was Spandau.
Was it that GIF? It was the time when I Snapchatted that image of you and Charlie Tizard made it into the GIF, zooming into your face. I think
it was at an
then.
airport somewhere.
No, that was at the Brauhaus in Spandau.
Was it? I thought that was at an airport for some reason. But anyway, that was a long time ago. I'm excited.
Has it been 2 years or something? It's been a long time, man.
It's been I think it's been 1 year. Pretty sure.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fucking esports, dude. It's so weird. We have all these like it's hard to explain to people that don't get it. Where I'm like, I have these friends that I feel very close with, and like 2 weeks out of the year, we're like best friends, and it's all about us, and we do all this work together, and then we just fuck off, and that's it. And then we barely talk to each other because we're on different time zones and have different projects. But it's like a weird distance and closeness that just I don't know it existing in any other form. It's very strange.
Thanks, internet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Oh man. Well, GB, thanks a lot. It's always a pleasure. We need to make you a regular, I think.
Have they banned vapes in America yet? Do I have to worry?
I think it's a use at your own risk type thing. America's fucking weird with that shit. You'll probably struggle to buy some of it. I think a lot of stores are getting it taken out, but I don't think anybody will give you a hard time for smoking it if you have it already. But yeah, all that vape stuff, man, real life news. How sad. Turns out vape juice can be bad for you if it has bad stuff in it.
Turns out you shouldn't buy illegal, cheap...
Illegal third-party, cheap Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a disaster. Stay safe out there, folks. It's you need your lungs, dude. You don't want to have respiratory problems. Let me tell you, it's shitty. It's a shitty way to go. And on that note, I think we're good. So for real, folks, we'll see you at Midas Mode. It's coming up real soon. Tickets still available. If you haven't made a decision yet, fucking come. It's going to be awesome. The team list is around the corner, and it's going to be super hype. I can guarantee announcement. Y'all are going to go bananas when you see that shit. So buckle your seatbelts. Hope to see most of your pretty faces in Denver. Of course, thank you to Rivalry for making this podcast possible. Thanks to Gary for his time.
Before you close, is it public? How many tickets, like how many spectators are we expecting as of now?
So weekend, we have, it's hard to gauge how many people will show up at the door.
And just buy a ticket.
Jungle Jam, we had, like, of all the tickets sold, about 30% were sold day of people that just showed up without buying online ahead of time. We've sold over 100 tickets for the weekend. If you factor in the VIPs and all that kind of stuff, I think there's only 40 VIP tickets total, something like that. And they're for the whole event. A lot of those folks are coming on the weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be pretty full. We're going to have the whole venue to ourselves. It's going to be a couple hundred people, Moonduck merch flowing, PCs firing off. It's going to be great. Weekdays, we definitely still have some room. That Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, buy some tickets. Come hang out with us, folks. That's the intimate part. That's where, like, you know, folks are off their shift and there's 10 people in the audience. You actually get to hang out with Trent and pick his brain a little bit. Those moments are kind of cool. So
that's kind of what I want people to know is that, like, I don't know, because I'm sure there's some people sitting out there being like, do I want to go to this thing? Like let's say I lived like a state over. If I want to fly or I want to drive, I mean, there's gonna be like a couple hundred people here, man. I think it's gonna be worth it. Like, if you've never been to a TI or you've never been to a LAN, like, I know the teams aren't gonna be there, but frankly, when you go to a LAN, it's not really the teams that make it so fun and exciting. Obviously, they're a huge part of it, but I mean, at least for me in my first LAN, it was super sick just meeting a bunch of people that also love Dota. Because in my personal life, no one I know plays Dota. My brother plays Dota, and some of my friends barely tried it, and that is it. Like, I go places, and I've explained to people, like, well, what do you do for a living? And I say, well, have you ever heard of Dota 2? No. Have you ever heard of League of Legends? No. They don't have any idea. Yeah. So it's very fun to just, like, meet the community, and obviously get to meet us, too. But more importantly, it's cool just meeting other people that love Dota. So I highly recommend it.
And where was your first LAN?
It was actually TI. It was the first time I went to a LAN.
Okay.
Wow.
One
of those Moonduck subsidized trip, dude. The good old days.
It was TI 6.
Yeah.
Wings 1.
And that was a lot of fun.
It was very exciting.
And I will say for this event, we are very aware of the fact that teams aren't there, and we're trying to make up for it with interactivity. And, like, we have one of our staff members is dedicated to the fan and VIP experience, who will be there to, like, you know, talk to you if you want to meet a specific talent or do things or get a signature. He can help arrange it. We really want everyone that comes to walk away with a, damn, that was a fucking awesome experience. So Slacks has put in a lot of effort. The venue is going to be tricked out. It's going to be cool. And it's a LAN cafe. Don't forget, there's like 100 PCs there. So if you ever get bored, you can just go play games on a computer on a sick rig. So there's a backup plan, dude. We got you covered. There's a McDonald's and a Starbucks across the street. What more could you want?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're actually
hype.
Like, you can walk, same exact little strip area. So,
dude, get me those cold brews.
So there you go. All right, gang. Enjoy. We'll see you next time. This podcast will be up on the Moonduck YouTube per usual, and Zyori.tv for the audio only. Bye-bye, boys and girls. Much love.